see how nice they are when we drive by them. That if they were ever raided by the federales, they would just jump into the United States in a loot capture. So a couple things. Not everybody that jumps that fence is trying to go north. And I'll give you an example. I was up here several months ago, and an officiale, TJPD, called me over to the fence. A guy had just done an armed robbery with a gun on the south side and jumped the fence and get away from him. So we played cat and mouse with him on both sides, jumping back and forth until I and my partner caught him armed on our side. The other thing is my last 2 arrests were made up here. Several months ago I was working a double shift, overtime, and I was up there at night, 2 guys, and I said, siéntate, and they wouldn't get on the ground. So I put them on the ground. And the next thing, Afghani, 2 Afghani guys. Not long ago we pulled a guy who claimed to be a Turkish national. Now, here's that thing with what's wrong with this picture. What's wrong with that picture? There's nobody there on the beach. There's nobody surfing. They'll surf. Minus 10 degrees out. California surfers will surf. There's the mouth of the Tijuana River right there. All the way up, and even to the south end of the seacoast, there were nobody surfing or swimming. Even on a hot day, there's nobody in it. That's the city of Imperial Beach for Mayor Serge Dini. That's just the Imperial Beach Pier. That's the Strand going up to Coronado. There's San Diego downtown proper, the Coronado Bridge. That's Green Field, one of the busiest helicopter ports in the world. The Navy does workups there with the helicopters. Next to it on the right is Slivers. This is what we call the sloughs. This is a mishmash of federal and state land and county land and city land. Imperial Beach land, city of San Diego land. Fish and wildlife is here. Everybody bitched about the secondary fence, but I'm going to tell you that before that secondary fence was here, there were so many trails that were from illegals with water bottles.
I remember that.
It's pristine now, except for the chemicals. Yeah. So you asked me before about how we know there's chemicals, besides the smell and the burns. When I came here 20 years ago, it had been El Nino. It had rained and flooded. I'm on midnight shift now because I have no seniority. I'm bitching about California lying to us because it was rainy and cold for months on end. They were actually telling us they had to teach us about hypothermia. I'm like, nah, I'm good, I'm from New York. I'm like, but where's this warm weather in California? So, it had flooded so high that when the waters receded, you could see the silt levels above your head on the trees. Running around at night, seeing stuff that almost looked like it was glowing, mostly sodium phosphate. Red, blue and green blobs on the trees on the ground. I'm in my first apartment. My 15-year-old daughter had made a friend there, and I'm at the hot tub with her father. And I'm talking about this. He says, I'm a chemist. I can pretty much tell you what that is, but can you take some pictures? So I get one of those little throwaway Kodak because we didn't have this nice stuff.
Right.
And at night, I take the pictures. I develop them. He goes, I knew it. He goes, that's chromium. And I think the other one he said was cadmium. But I know the one was, and he says, I can tell by that, that's what and he goes, that's heavy metal. He goes, you're not near that, are you? I said, we run through it. He goes, dude, that's toxic. It's absorbed through your skin. You can't be touching that stuff. I'm like, you know what? That was 20 years ago. So it doesn't go away by itself. Now, the EPA will not consider doing a Superfund site. At first I was pissed, now I get it. They're like, but this stuff keeps coming in. We can't do a Superfund site unless the pollutant has stopped. We can't clean it when stuff keeps coming in.
Yeah.
So no Superfund site for us.